Good afternoon, YouTube. It's 18th of June 2020. I didn't wait a whole year before I uploaded the video, don't worry. I just wanted to do a quick update or just show you guys a bit our different groups of cattle or herds that we have on the farm at the moment, and just talk about them maybe a little bit. I was reading through some comments the other day, and the guys are quite interested, or you guys seem to be quite interested in the cattle, so I'll try to make a video about them. And I do apologize, speaking about comments, I keep on disabling the comments on my last two videos, but it's because YouTube keeps asking me, is this video okay for kids? And I'm like, it's a cow video or it's a farm video, of course it's okay for kids. And then when you click okay for kids, it disables the comments. So I figured out, don't do that. It's not okay for kids. Kids don't want to see this stuff. But so this is our dry herd, our dry group. Just to let you know, this group on average has been they're on day 24 of being dry, and obviously that's an average number. There's some that have been dry for 30 plus almost 40 days, and there's some that are recently dried off. So you're going to see a little bit of a variety amongst the cattle. Obviously the fatter, better condition ones are ones that have been in the dry herd for a longer period of time. But like I said, they 24 days on average dry. They currently averaging a 500 kilo weight, 501 kilos. They're a little bit heavy for our cows. We have a bit of a lighter cow. When they calve down, they'll probably end up settling on about 440, and that's fine for us. We don't want big heavy cows. Our cows walk quite long distances to get to the fields, and we have a lot of problems when the cows are heavy. They get, you get a lot of lameness and issues. So the lighter cows better suit our setup. So they 501 kilos average, and averaging 233 days pregnant. At the moment, these cows are grazing where our milk herd had grazed earlier today, and they are currently getting milked at the dairy over there. And what happens, these cows come out of our feed pad, and then they come and eat the residual grass, and they'll finish up. They'll leave this looking quite neat. We do have some weed problems, but it's because we've been planting and doing things. We will sort that out and address that. We are in the process of doing so. But anyway, let me just mention to you guys what these cows are getting fed TMR wise. They are currently getting 2 kilos of chicken litter, 2 kilos of maize silage, 2 kilos of triticale silage, and they are getting 4 kilos of hominy chop and 50 grams of feed urea. And they should be putting on 0.7, they should be gaining at between 0.7 to 1 kg of weight per day, and they are doing it. They're converting the food very well. So I'm pretty happy with where this group is at. They're looking very good, and as far as all our different groups go, they're all doing very, very well. We're in a very good position this season. We nicely set up for next year. For next season, sorry, not next year. We are a seasonal farm, so our whole herd will end up getting dried off in the next month and a half, and they'll all be calving down in a sort of 2.5 month window. So we'll be in full swing sort of September-ish. September, October, our spring hits, and that's where we want the bulk of our herd to be at their peak in production, which is about 60 days in milk, or 60 days after calving, and that's where we want to time it so that they are at their peak of milk production at the same time that our farm will produce the highest quality and the highest quantity of feed, or be able to grow that food, you know, the best quality pasture and the highest quantity of pasture. So that's kind of October for us, late September, October. Anyway, so that's the dry herd. Yeah, I'll probably show you guys the milk herd next, and then I've got two heifer groups as well. Guys, I just saw, I forgot to mention this. When I speak about the ration, or the TMR ration, or what we feed these cows, I speak about it on a per cow level. So it's not a whole herd, it's what we're feeding one cow in the group, if you know what I mean. So if I say 2 kgs of maize silage, and there's 250 cows here in this group, it would be 500 kgs of maize silage that's going to this group. So when I speak about the ration, I break it down to a per cow level, so it's quite easy to understand for people who are interested in that sort of thing. And then it's also in dry matter, so that's without the weight of the water within the silage. Just so it's clear. Now, I also forgot to mention that they were getting, on top of that, they're getting 1.5 kgs of teff hay. It helps for the fiber in their rumen. But yeah, I see our milk herd is on their way to the field, so I'm going to head over there and I'll meet you guys that side. Alright, so there they're coming down the road. This is the same pasture that the dry cows are in. The milk cows are just coming in the second gate, which is down there in the corner. The first gate is behind the cows there by the dairy, and then that's the dry cows over there. So they on a cut that was eaten earlier today by milk cows. And then over here where I'm standing now, you can see on the right hand side is the cut from there's my hand. Okay, on the right hand side is the cut from yesterday. The dry cows have been in there, so you can see how they clean it up. They do this all in a 24-hour period. They take it from that to that. We first start off with milk cows for 12 hours in here, and then they go out to the dairy. They get their TMR ration at the feed pad in the dairy, then they get milked, and then the dry cows come in here after they've had their TMR ration as well, once the milk herd has come out. They're taking a bit long to get in the field. Okay, so there you can see the first cows coming into the field, and these cows are on average, I'm going to speak a herd average again, yeah. 330 days in milk. It's a bit high. We dry them off on 300 days. The reason that average is so high is there are a couple of cows that we didn't get pregnant during the breeding season, and actually the season before, and they're still producing high liters. There's a couple of cows there that are 1,000 days in milk, and they're still giving 16-17 liters. So I'd just keep milking them until they kind of stop giving milk. But that's just brought the average up. It kind of messes the average up. If I take those cows off, it sort of averages at just under 300, about 295. These cows are literally, we're drying off cows every day out of this group. But this group currently is at 130 animals in this group, so we don't have many cows in milk. We usually milk 420, around about 420 animals. And what these cows are getting, they're getting 5.5 kgs of pasture per cow, dry matter. That's this pasture that they're in now. It's a perennial ryegrass, chicory and clover pasture with some lucerne in. Very high quality, high protein pasture. And then the rest of their ration is made up of maize silage. They're getting 2.5 kgs dry matter per cow, 2 kgs of chicken litter, and 2 kgs of hominy chop. And what else they're getting? They're getting a bit of maize meal, about 2.5 to 3 kgs. They get fed according to their production, so it varies, but on average I'd say it's just under 3 kgs. They're not producing very much. I don't know if I mentioned they're only on 13.5 liters per cow at the moment, which is very low, but that's to be expected with this group of animals because of how far they are in milk. We have a seasonal farm, so we will dry off the majority of our cows through the winter, and then they calve down in the spring. But yeah, that's the milk herd. A lot of them are still on their way down the road there. So and then we've got those two heifer groups over there, which I'll probably talk a bit more about them tomorrow because I'm starting to run out of light here. So I'll probably go there tomorrow and then finish off this video for you guys. But these cows will stay here. It's now 5 o'clock in the evening, and these cows will come out of here tomorrow morning at 6:30, and at that point they'll head to the dairy and they'll get milked. Then they'll get their TMR ration in the feed pad, and then they'll come back to another piece. And there's far too much grass here allocated here to these cows, but they'll only take in about 5.5 kgs, and whatever's left that they don't eat, the dry cows get to finish off. And they've been doing a pretty good job. If I head over here, you'll kind of see what it looks like. I did show this just in the beginning of this, so you can see they do get it eaten down pretty well. Alright guys, so this is the heifer group. These heifers, these are replacement heifers, so these animals are pregnant. They're gonna calve very soon. They'll start calving. There's 90 animals in this group. 44 of those will be calving on the 13th of July next month, and then the rest will sort of be calving after that. We used a cedar program to get them to synchronize them when we bred them. But anyway, this group of animals is on average 22 months old, and they are, like I said, they're all pregnant. They're about 8.7 months pregnant, or 237 days. And they've been in this feedlot for quite a long time. They've been on a TMR ration, which consists of, once again, I'm going to break it down on a per cow level, but it's 1.5 kilos of teff hay, 2 kilos of maize meal, and I just got to think because I don't have the stuff on hand. It's 2 kilos of maize meal, 2 kilos of triticale silage, 30 grams of feed urea. What else is in there? 1 kilo of chicken litter, and 1.5 kilos of hominy chop. I think that's everything. I think I've covered everything. So they're doing very good, but like I said, a lot of them are calving. 44 of this, basically half of these are calving on the 13th, and then the rest will follow shortly after that. And I've got to adjust their stomachs to pasture, because once they've calved, they'll be eating just pasture. They won't be on TMR ration anymore. So I think starting from round about, I think I've been planning on starting from the 25th to start to slowly introduce pasture and to build it up you know, say starting on 1 kilo and then building it up to about 10 kilos by sort of the 14th of July. And that should give them a good time to just adjust over. But anyway, they're doing really well. They're looking really good. This group is averaging 425 kilos, which is the heaviest I've ever had our replacement heifers weighing. To just show you where we at last year this time, the same sort of group of heifers that would also be calving, you know, replacement heifers, they were weighing 396, so we're quite well ahead of where we were last year this time. And that goes for like the whole farm. We've got way more grass. We started planting way earlier than we usually do, so our fields are prepped and ready. I mean, just looking at that field over there, you can see it's really long. The cows have just grazed that one, but yeah, it's going well. And then those heifers on the other side, they are a younger group. There's 100 animals in that group. Let me go over there and I'll show you guys better. All right, so this is the final group. This is a young group of animals. Like I said, there's 100 animals in this group. They are 337 days old. These animals aren't pregnant. Like I said, these are only yearlings, but we'll be breeding this group of animals in October, which is the same time that group where we just were was bred last year, 2019. And they're all eating at the moment, but just to give you sort of a look at them, their condition is pretty good. I'm not really too worried about them. I'm pretty happy with where they are, and they've been in this feedlot pretty much since birth, but they are also on a TMR ration at the moment, which is once again on a per cow level. It's 2 kilos of triticale silage, 2.25 kilos of germ meal or hominy chop, 10 grams of feed urea, 2 kilos of teff hay, and 1 kilo of chicken litter. And this group of animals seems to be doing quite well on that ration. Their daily weight gain is 0.7 kgs. If I weigh these animals 3 times a week, it's quite easy because we use a digital tag that's in their ear, and then we just run them over electronic scale with load cells, and it automatically records their weights onto a computer. So it's very easy for me to weigh animals, and we weigh both this group and that group down there 3 times a week. And if you were to say you weighed them today and you weighed them next week on the same day, and you say 0.7 times 7, it's spot on if you look at their average weight, what they've gained. This group is currently weighing 305 kgs, and like I said, they're right on target with where they need to be. I believe last year this time our heifers were 270, because I did record the weights as well. So we're quite far ahead of where we were last year this time. And you can see our wood chip system is working quite well. What we'll do is we'll just scrape sort of the top 2.5-3 inches off of this, and it gets piled up down there. That's what those piles are over there. And then sort of in summer, when the ground gets a bit dry in the fields, we spread it out, and it's a good source of nutrients for the soil. Yeah, what else can I say about these animals? This is the 4th and final group of animals that we have. They're going to be in here until probably sort of springtime, when the majority of our dry herd has thinned out, and then this group will sort of start to follow the milk herd in the dry cow's place. They'll also have to go through a sort of a transition period where they get kind of weaned off the TMR ration. They've just been fed, which is why they're all standing up here like this. But let me try and get in there and just show you what they're eating. So this is their ration. What it's made up of. Mostly what you can see there is tefe and triticale silage, and then there's it wasn't the best quality triticale silage, I'll be honest about that, but there's a lot of germ meal and chicken litter in there, which is giving it a lot of energy, and then a bit of feed urea to kind of help the protein a bit. But like I said, this group is doing quite well. Just looking at them, they're quite big, they're quite heavy animals, they're awesome condition. So I'm very happy. It's been a good season, I must say. It's been a very good season. Look at them, there are a few runs in between, the same as that group over there. There's a couple of light animals, but I think what I'll do next, I'll be a little more aggressive on the sort of picking out runs and getting rid of them before we spend too much money on growing them. But for the most part, this group of animals is looking pretty good. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry about the light, it's not the best, but yeah, shot for watching, and hope everybody's keeping safe, keeping well.